What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're not a subscriber, then simply welcome to the channel. Please ignore this mess behind me. I'm actually still creating some clothing, doing a couple little side projects. Lock in with me on social media on IG and YouTube if you do want to see what becomes of all this mess behind me. But for now, we're not talking about that. Today we're going to be doing a video on my GOAT shoe rotation. Now we're not going to be doing a video on like the hypest or the most trendy shoes or whatever. So no like Adidas Sambas or like, you know, Rick Owens or whatever specifically, like no like Jordan 1 collabs or anything like that. What we're going to focus on more today is more like sort of a template, and that's kind of what I want this video to be, is like a guide for like a template of how to build your GOAT shoe rotation. But every shoe that we have that fills up a category or a space in our shoe rotation has some sort of concept and has some sort of like practicality behind it. So we're going to dive into the concept or the idea or the space that needs to be filled in the wardrobe or in the shoe rotation. I'm going to do about 3 categories and then show you what I have in each of those categories that fills my particular rotation. So for my first category, I'd like to say that comfort is king. And although I do have a lot of qualms about dressing way too comfortably, that could be an entire video by itself. You do want to have that like intersectionality of fashion, like stylish, and then like comfortability and practicality. And comfortability is practical most of the time, honestly, even more so than looking good is feeling good, because no matter what you're doing on your day-to-day, you know, business trips, errand runs or whatever, if your feet are screaming bloody murder, then you're not going to want to wear that shoe. In this space, I have my New Balance 2002R. I'm actually not really a New Balance person. As a matter of fact, I never really got into them, and there are lots of different models of New Balances that I just haven't tried yet. But the 992 and the 2002Rs honestly are my favorite. They are very comfortable. They have this New Balance specific, I think they call it energy soles, like literally N-E-R-G-Y. Yeah, they're very comfortable, they're practical. They have the little 3M hits on here, so when you're running in low light or at night, people can see that. If they're driving like a car by you, the headlights will shine against this 3M whatever. Practicality like that is pretty nice. It screams like, you know, I'm an actual designer instead of having useless bells and whistles all over your product. That being said, they still had to make all this stuff look appealing. It's still packaged, I think, in a pretty nice way. The colorways that they have in New Balances are numerous, like any other shoe company. There's tons of different colors, but material and texture always brings the color through nicely, honestly. These are just like a neutral gray and white, and everything's just a tone or shade of gray or white. I honestly would think about getting maybe another pair of New Balances, maybe just like one other pair, and then I'd probably stop. The type of outfit I would wear this with would normally be like, I don't know, something like more casual or maybe street. I do like to switch it up, but I think that these have a lot of versatility, so you can switch these up to a slightly like more smart look, very slightly, but honestly it's going to be a casual shoe, and that's fine because we don't need this shoe to do everything. It's just your daily errands type of shoe, or like your comfortable like walk around the city type of shoe. Let's move on to the next category, which is going to be a loafer or a smart casual shoe. Now I say smart casual specifically because a loafer isn't particularly like a dress shoe. Like if you went to a wedding, I think you could wear it to a wedding, but if I was getting married, maybe I would want to wear a much more smart like boot, or maybe like an Oxford or something like that. And like if I'm in a business meeting and I leave and we're gonna go get lunch or something like that, I might slip out of the shoes that I have on, and then I might put on the loafer, of course in black leather. I think most people would agree that a loafer is a great like intersection between stylish casual and stylish formal. I think we're in a post sneaker hype world, not post sneaker, but post sneaker hype world, where I think loafers and more formal footwear, or at least formal adjacent footwear, are starting to take place. That being said, a loafer can go into your casual everyday lifestyle. You can also do a derby instead of a loafer. So of course that's not exactly the same shoe, but it gives kind of the same vibe off. There are multiple brands that make loafers, of course, but I think that I went for like more like a mid tier, middle of the market purchase for my first loafer that I've had in a while. So not my first loafer overall, but the first I've had in a while. I got the Sebago black leather loafers in the penny loafer lug sole shape. Now the penny loafer is a very classic style, and of course the lug sole isn't as classic, but I went with the lug sole because honestly, well, for one, it was on sale on Essence, but two, I kind of thought about me like wearing it in everyday life, and I realized that I'm kind of rough on my shoes, and I felt like the lug sole would last the longest. It was a little bit thicker, a little bit more robust, and had some grip on it. So I decided to go with that as kind of like a mixture in between functionality. But I didn't even notice that that had become like sort of a trend, or like sort of become more popular to get a lug sole bottom for your loafers. Most people would say for the affordable loafer go Doc Marten, but I'm gonna say go vintage. Always go on like resale sites like Grailed, eBay, Depop, and stuff like that. You might actually find some pretty good designer shoes in that like 100 and under range. Like you can probably pick some up on eBay for like 50 bucks. And I've seen everything from Gucci horse bits to like Prada and Dior. I feel as though once you get into the Doc Martens, you're gonna get something very specific, and everyone's got them. They're not unique, and you may not like what Doc Marten has to offer. The Row has some really cool loafer options. I've been looking at the Canal loafer specifically. I think it's a really cool, like even more casual loafer, but it still can be dressed up into a little bit more of a formal, like go out to dinner sort of outfit. The second option I would be looking at is like the Eel loafer. I think it's supposed to resemble eel skin, but it kind of looks like crocodile skin to me a little bit. But that being said, they're just as expensive. They're not cheaper at all, but they are going to be a little bit more closer to what most people realize as a real like loafer silhouette, what most people feel comfortable with, I guess. But that being said, get yourself a loafer of some sort that you can both comfortably afford, or if you want to splurge on it, go ahead, but also something that looks good and will pair with your outfit. I made this the third and final category because you guys already probably guessed what it's going to be. Bottega Veneta boots. So I said I was not going to talk about these boots unless I got like a new pair of boots, and I'm working on that. However, I can't deny that these have been a pretty like heavy lifter in my rotation. I think that a boot in general would be a heavy lifter, but these boots in particular I really love. I love a lot of things about them, and that's why I did pick them up. These are definitely going to be a little bit more on the pricey side, as you guys already know. I would say an alternative maybe would be like the Camion boot. I wouldn't say it's like a real alternative because the silhouette is different. If you want something that's a lot more similar, I would say that the brand Marcel has a similar lug boot, and then of course the brand COS, which is much more affordable, has a lower, like I guess ankle version of a lug boot. Just the hole wouldn't be filled if I didn't get these. That being said, a boot is definitely the category that people are skimping on a lot more than I would think, honestly. Outside of like influencers or whatever, I don't see a lot of people filling the boot category in their wardrobe in their day-to-day lives. Now you need more than one boot to rotate out. Like I'd say like maybe 3 boots would last you like maybe the rest of your life. I would say a beater boot, a cowboy boot, like something like vintage would definitely do you well. You can find those 200 and under all day. Alright guys, hey, future me, sorry I actually forgot to film an outro to the video. Jacket is almost done. I'm still doing some patchwork detailing on it, so stay tuned. I will probably eventually show this off once I do a couple of other things. Perseverance. But that's gonna do it for the video. Thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate all the subscribers and just straight up viewers, whoever. If you're supporting in any sort of way, I do definitely appreciate that. Also, thank you for the comments on the videos. That does help a lot. It does let me know that you guys are engaged. I'm glad I am engaging you, but I tend to yap, so I'm just gonna go ahead and end the video here. I appreciate you guys. Thanks. Like, subscribe. Until next video.